Simple and affordable. You don't think of those two words when you think about weddings. This is a completely different idea. This is me. I am the customer. I was married not too far in the past, and I could not find a small venue that would be elegant, that would have what I wanted to have, a nice little elopement with my husband. And I started searching because it's been decades and decades since I was married the first time. So when I went searching, I found that I was embarrassed because I kept asking for the low price option. I was not treated like I think someone should be treated, no matter what option they're looking for. And I had a tough time. But here's the thing. I'm already in another industry. I'm a chef. I've been working for Johnson & Wales University for 22 years. I'm a culinary instructor. And I built a business to help people in the food business already. I own the City Kitch. I'm the person who started the incubator for food entrepreneurs in Charlotte. And we have now grown to 3 locations and over $3 million in revenue. So I have an idea how to build a business to help people get over barriers. So that's who I am, and that's what I bring to the table. When I got married, I had to rent a room, and I got dressed in the public bathroom, and I cued the music, and I ran toward the aisle, and I forgot my bouquet because there's no one there to hand it to me. And I went down the aisle, and I had a lovely little wedding with 10 guests, which is what you technically think of as an elopement. It still cost me over $1,000, and it was a blur. And that is just not a dignified way to have a wedding. Now, if you have been married, you know what I'm talking about. The average here is $30,000. Everybody knows that. That is a misleading number from The Knot, a very well-respected reporting agency that handles a lot of different analysis with the wedding industry. The median is closer to $10,000. So yes, that's the average. That's a whole lot above and a whole lot below. But where the median is, or most of them are together, is around the $10,000 mark. So if you want to go have a beautiful wedding and spend $30,000, you go for it. But that does not affect most of us that need a little more realistic solution. And if I can't find it, it isn't out there. I know how to do research. And I was the person on the phone with these folks when they wanted to say, oh, well, maybe you should think about the justice of the peace. Have you considered maybe a DIY? It's not really something we do here. We do elegant weddings. Okay, thanks a lot. So I created the Modest Wedding. I created a place, a safe place, where you can have dignity, and be treated like a real person who has a real budget and real money. And $5,000 is not a tiny amount of money. It is in the wedding industry, but it's not a tiny amount of money. I've been able to do it because I married the man who is my technical advisor. So I'm smart that way. So he is the one who is helping me put together the backbone, the wireframe, the development for the product that is our moat, which is our competitive edge, called the Wedding Composer. This Wedding Composer takes the place of 10 different vendors. We do everything in-house. We're able to gather all the information. I'm able to make it custom. I know it sounds like you can't, but look at these beautiful pictures. This is what I have in mind. Not Vegas, not the justice of the peace. You can have your family, you can have your guests, you can have your kid, you can have your damn dog if you want to. It's a place where you can go and have all of these things included. Photography, yep. As long as you are using very specific, well thought out systems that are driven and have a backbone of software, you can make it happen. It's kind of the car wash of weddings. Sounds a little weird, but the bride is in the bridal suite having her hour and a half of getting ready, quiet, peaceful, private time, or hanging out with our girl tribe, whichever. At that same time that there's someone in the bridal suite, there's another couple that is finishing their reception. So I'm able to have 3 major, beautiful, modest weddings in a day. That changes my paradigm. It changes my revenue model. I'm able to have 3 a day. A typical venue would have maybe 100, 150 weddings a year, if they're lucky, 52 weekends in a year. If they're lucky, they're having 100 weddings. We can be upwards of 200 to 400 weddings per year in a single footprint. Wedding composer, this is going to allow us to scale. We're going to be able to get the process down. We already have the wireframe built. I already have IP. I'm already a Delaware C Corp, so we're ready to go. The market opportunity, talking about just, I don't even bother about the U.S. We all know it's a huge market. But look at it in North Carolina. We can bring that down. We've got the trends going on with the lower, smaller weddings being the go-to these days. We have an under $1,000 elopement. Under $1,000. This is where we're going to be, going up into year 3. This is where I get to come back to Charlotte. This is my love of Charlotte. I have my businesses here. And my ask is $275 via SAFE, simple agreement for future equity. And we have significant in venue build out, because it has to be beautiful, and software development. And I really appreciate and hope that you guys are interested in reimagining what a wedding can be. Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie. You say you teach at Johnson & Wales?
I did, 22 years.
Very good. Well, I'm an alumni from Johnson & Wales. So
Are you?
Yeah.
Hey, we all go into cool things.
So I was hoping to learn a little bit more about the Wedding Composer. How far along is it?
It's in wireframe. So I have it built to the point where we are ready for a developer to come in and build it for us. We have the entire conditional logic built out.
And is the Wedding Composer software that will be specific to this venue business, or is it something that could be
possibly licensable and possibly SaaS in the future?
But that's not the initial plan. The initial plan is to do that.
We have, this is pre-seed funding for us round, and then we're looking at a flagship in Charlotte, hopefully in 3 to 5 years, where we will have everything, all the proof of concept done. And then we'll know at that point if we want to look at franchising or if we want to look at company-owned locations.
Okay. I think, you know, the software side and the facility side can be very different types of businesses, right, and sometimes different types of investors that look at the different types of businesses. And so that is going to be a challenge, is sort of kind of incorporating the two. In terms of the pitch itself, I was, again, looking at the clock. You spent more than half of the time just explaining the problem. And I think if you're talking about, you know, the costs of weddings and the experience of weddings and wedding planning, it's probably something you can get down to less than a minute, and then get on more to the solutions, especially that Wedding Composer. If you've got wireframes or some designs or something, or how it would function, what problems it would solve, that's something that would really want to see on a slide. Even if it's sort of sketched out, like here's what it's going to be, here's the problems that it's going to solve, here's what the experience is going to be like, anything like that, because that's where, you know, I get excited about something like that, because that you can scale to lots of different facilities and venues.
Awesome, thank you.
And yeah, there might be a different way to describe what you're doing other than car wash of weddings. I don't know, that just created a visual that, you know, was a bit of a disconnect. There might be another way of talking about standardizing weddings. So just a thought there.
Carrie, first, congrats on City Kitch. I know it very well. So I know your name and the success that's had. That was a perfect example of storytelling to frame the problem. Great way to open. But to Juan's point, stop there. Then you went into more details around the problem. Your story framed the problem perfectly. We got it. You know, that was a minute into your pitch. We understand the problem, so move on and start talking about some of the other things. So the things that you hit were the problem, differentiation, the team, and market. What I didn't hear was competition. I assume just going to the courthouse is one of your competitors. You got the high end. But what other, small mid-market type of solutions are out there? The other thing is that you're going to start in Charlotte, so I'd love to hear how you're going to expand to other cities. Like, are you going to go with like an ambassador approach where you have a Carrie in each city that's going to be, well, Carrie, you and your husband kind of team in each city that are going to pull off this wedding experience? I'd like to hear a little bit more about that. Go ahead.
Well, just for clarification, we're starting in the triad. I zoomed through the last few because I talked a bit long. But we're starting in the triad near the High Point area, and that general market. And then I wanted Charlotte, which is my home, to be the flagship. After we prove the concept, I want to build the building that really works for this flow.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh, I forgot to mention in your slides also, seeing a wedding described in a workflow diagram. I loved it. So the biggest question that you didn't answer is, how do you make money? And what are your margins? I mean, you're talking about doing a wedding for $4,500.
Right.
It feels like it's going to be really hard for you to make money doing that. So how do you do it?
That part is the paradigm shift, because we're so used to thinking about vendors. We're so used to thinking about the photographer, the baker, the caterer, the stationer, all the different people. And I'm able to build every single piece of that into the wedding composer or build it into my flow, where we would have, say, a beautiful two-tier wedding cake. It's faux, and we have beautiful pictures, and then we serve wedding cake. But that is, basically a sheet cake that's beautiful, but it's being served out. So we kind of eliminate the $500 wedding cake sort of thing. We eliminate a DJ by having the the wedding coordinator is also the host, kind of like an MC. But we've taken all those cues in, we've taken in everything that they want to have happen at their wedding, and we just make that happen on cue. We're working with tablets so that we have a scrolling idea of what's next and what we need to say and what the vibe is. I have different scripts for different vibes. I have different vows for the officiant. Everything is picked in advance.
I think an investor would want to see.
Here is the true cost to pull off, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 wedding of the 3 examples, and how I'm going to make money on that. Because my first,
Cost of goods on them.
yeah,
And I have a handout for you guys that shows a little bit of that. So
It just feels to me.
I'm going, well, that sounds great, because I know my daughter's going to get married in the next 2 years, but you as the entrepreneur, I just hope you can make some money, because, even on the venue side, it sounds like you're going to build the venue or find venues that will work for you. And that's just the upfit is going to be pretty expensive. So I need to make sure you're going to make money.
Okay.
Let me see what else I had. Yeah, I think that's it for now. How are we on time?
2 minutes.
How about questions from the audience?
Questions from the audience.
Yeah, one.
In the back. Yes, sir.
Unmarried male, I love this, right? Now you get a lifetime relationship, but just like that, have you talked to both men and women and figure out your customer discovery process?
I'm going to say no, because I have been focused on my experiences. My daughter got married, being around weddings. I have a background, as you know, in culinary, but also in hospitality. I owned a company where I provided servers to weddings or to caterers, and they were fully trained. So I've just been around that world so much. I think that's an excellent perspective that I need to talk to the men, because, one, you're getting married, but 2, you're a father. And some 14-year-old girl is going to come to you and say, "Hey, Dad, let's talk about my wedding." Thank you.
We got time for one more. I think it was one more hand over here somewhere.
Yes, sir?
Yeah, I was curious about the marketplace.
Yes, sir?
Instead of building everything in-house, you said all vendor relationships will be under you. Why instead not create a marketplace that everybody can register the services like photography and others? You call the venue and the main process and workflow, but marketplace services usually are very kind of nice to track.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. And there are many vendors that it takes to pull off, a beautiful wedding. And there's a place for them. There is no place for them, unfortunately, at the Modest Wedding, because the Modest Wedding is taking care of all of those things. Pick a vendor that you're thinking of. Photography. So with photography, I am able to bring my own in-house photographer in. I am able to pay him. He's out of my cost of goods, so if I'm not having a wedding, he's not coming in. I use software systems in order to create the picture flow that automatically goes to Mixbook, and Mixbook automatically makes the book for me and has it automatically sent to the person. So they're missing out. They're still having a human, coming in, taking the pictures. There's still a human involved, but then I have computer involved for all the rest of it. So I don't bring in outside vendors. That's how I keep my costs down. Even though I'd get a kickback from the photographer, I'd rather keep the money in-house. It might sound a little detrimental, but I'm much more into getting the money back to the customer than I am in building a super profitable business. It's still going to be a super profitable business, but I want to help the people. Thank you.
Can I ask one quick question? Sorry.
Sure.
I said before I was thinking of like the facilities part and the software part, how that goes together. Have you thought about franchising this?
Yes, sir. That's in there.
Okay, sorry, I missed that.
Licensing the wedding composer.
Gotcha. Okay. No, just
Make sure that was something that was being considered.
I went too
Right.
fast.
All right, with that, we're
good
at time. Thank you, Carrie.